another day, hey, and you don't have to hide away, yeah. You'll be my boy, but for now it's time to run, it's time to run.
What is going on, everybody? Welcome to the School of Science podcast. Not even sure what episode it is, probably like 26 or so. My name is Jordan Gifkins. Alongside me is the blasphematic Jake White. How you going?
Yeah, I'm not too bad, mate. Yourself?
Good. You've just you're a new word now. I don't think I've just said a word there. So,
Incredible.
Oh, absolute scenes. Today we are talking about away days to Brighton and Hove Albion.
Away days with the lads.
Yep, it's it has the makings to be a tough game. To say the
We'll make
least.
it a tough game.
Well, I mean, one thing's for sure is we'll make it a lot harder than it should be. We're obviously a bit more familiar with Brighton and Hove Albion than, say, a few of the other teams in the league, just based on the fact purely that Australian Matt Ryan plays in goal. That's probably the only reason why I've watched Brighton and Hove Albion this season. But, you know, looking at their squad, they've got a few good players in there. Shane Duffy, obviously, an ex-Everton player, sitting in the heart of defence. Knockart is a good talent. Glenn Murray's been around the system. Isaiah Brown is a good young player. So they've got not a bad squad. And currently sitting 16th on the table ahead of us on goal difference. So, their home form's been good though, which is from 3 home games they've won 2 of them. Their only loss came to Manchester City, which is expected, I guess. As Mashiri would say, probably an expected loss, that one. But yeah, I mean, first and foremost, Jake, Brighton, what do you reckon is probably the biggest strength? What do you reckon is going to be our biggest downfall as such when it comes to them and not us?
Great question that you asked me there, Jordan. I reckon they're a good defensive outfit, in all fairness. Out of the promoted teams, your Huddersfields, Brighton, and who else got promoted last year? Newcastle, yeah, they're probably the strongest defensively out of the lot. They don't look awfully convincing when going forward, but you look at most of their wins, and most of their wins look like just grinded out 1-0 sort of results. So it's going to be difficult because we don't have a lot going forward, and they're pretty good defensively. So it doesn't really read too well for us. But we'll have a crack. They're a decent team. They're definitely not going to be easy beats, to tell you that. And hopefully we can get 3 points.
What are your predictions on the starting lineup? We've obviously got to do something about it, and
to say the least.
The availability of Jagielka, I think, is in line to play this one. Is a boost considering Ashley Williams has indirectly been our biggest problem, despite our deficiencies going forward and not being able to score. Ashley Williams has been, very, very poor for the most part this season, and Jagielka, if he comes in and plays, would be, a refresher, I guess, to the squad. And not only the fact that he's a better defender and a better player, but also the fact that he's the captain. And like we've said in previous podcasts, he's essentially our only leader at Everton. So, like I've said and like you've said, we've lacked that leadership out on the field. So it could be a really good thing that we get Jagielka back to this one.
Yeah, I reckon. Yeah, I swear to God, if fucking Martina starts over Kenny, I'm done. But yeah, I think the lineup defensively basically picks itself if Koeman decides to be smart and pick players on form. Then Williams will not be anywhere near the team. So yeah, you'd hope that it would just be a Kenny Keane, Jags and Baines back 4 with Pickford in goals. That's what I think it should be, but it'll probably be bloody Stecklenburg, Martina, fucking Williams, Sigurdsson starting centre back.
At least essential.
Yeah. But I reckon
Hey,
the
what's
back
that
five does
message
pick
centre back?
itself.
Well, you can't say the back five picks itself because we've got Martina there and Holgate, who are probably our first choice right backs. But then you got John Joe Kenny, who could be introduced again. Who knows?
Mm,
I mean, it's an away game, a game that we should be winning.
it is.
But nonetheless, an away game that we need to be switched on defensively because Brighton do have that, with the crowd behind them, have that ability to go forward and score a goal. So, do we opt for Martina, who's probably a bit better going forward than Holgate, or do we offer Holgate, who is a better defensive player? Or do we go Kenny, who can just do everything?
Well, you'd go Kenny. You've got to, in my opinion. You've got to give him more time to work his way into the starting 11 and
But do you give him that
prove
away
himself.
game to help him, or do you say you put Holgate in there, who's got the experience in the Premier League for the last year, who's played away to Man City already this season and done very well, can handle that, and you say to Kenny, you can give him a chance at home, say next week, because he's got the crowd
Against
behind
Arsenal.
him. Yeah, well, I mean, he could be in line for the game against Lyon. Who knows?
Yeah. Look, as long as Martina doesn't start, I don't care. So I'd be happy if Holgate plays right back, but I'd be even happier if Kenny does. As long as it's not Martina, then I'm not too fast, to be honest.
Fair enough. Midfield. Do you
Midfield.
think this is the game where we go and play two defensive midfielders, or?
Yes. We shouldn't, but we will.
And we're going to say Schneiderlin and Adrissa are pretty much guaranteed to start.
Yeah, in my starting 11, I've got Klassen and Schneiderlin, but it'll definitely be Idrissa and Morgan, 100%. Like, he loves his defensive midfielder, so... And we've spent, 25 million on Klassen, and now he's not even going to get any fucking minutes because we're playing two defensive midfielders, so, yeah. It'd probably be Idrissa and Morgan, but it should be Dovey and Morgan, or Tom and Idrissa, who knows?
I think Rooney is going to start this one. Yeah.
Yeah, I've got him starting up front. He won't start up front. He'll probably start bloody right back, but I've got him starting up front.
Yeah, I think after Koeman's comments, I think Rooney is pretty much guaranteed to start this one.
After Koeman's comments, Rooney's guaranteed to start every game for the next 5 years.
Gylfi Sigurdsson, likely to start on the left. On the right, considering we don't have width, we probably don't have right, but...
Lookman and Vlasic on the wing, so I don't fuck.
Yeah, I mean, that's in an ideal world. Realistically, it's a toss-up in the right. I mean, we could see Lookman. I doubt it, but we could. Vlasic.
David
is probably
Hannon.
More likely. Hannon's doing very well in the 23s at the moment.
Play Luke Garbutt on the left wing. He's been dominating for the 23s as well.
Well, he's that perfect player for that left wing-back role when we play five at the back, in my opinion. So... I have been hearing that he's not registered for the first team squad this season because of age. We have to register him. We can't register him again till January. So
God.
it's a very Koeman thing to do this on. He just seems to be mucking around, doesn't he? Not having the ass in the Europa League squad and all that as well. So yeah, I think right wing will probably see. But I'm going to go with Vlasic. I think Vlasic will start. Or we might go to Calvert-Lewin and give Nias another run up front. Who knows? I wouldn't mind seeing Calvert-Lewin on the right, to be honest. It's just...
I wouldn't mind seeing Calvert-Lewin anywhere, to be honest. He's a beautiful man.
Alright, so obviously we're in bad form. I think it's about time we get a win, to say the least.
Hopefully.
What are you thinking? In regards to how this game's going to pan out, predictions, anything like that, what we need to do to get this win, what are you thinking?
You've got to play Sigurdsson central for one, in my opinion, because he's one of the best creators in the Premier League, let alone at Everton. So if we want to win, we've got to put one of the best creators in the Premier League central so we can create. We need to play with width instead of putting Sigurdsson out the left. Although I do love Sigurdsson, I think he's a fantastic footballer. He's not fast. We need to play with pace and width, and the one thing that we haven't got right now is pace and width. and that's what we need.
That's true.
So that's why I am suggesting Lookman. I wouldn't mind seeing Lookman and Calvert-Lewin because they're both very fast and would cause Brighton a fair bit of trouble. But I wouldn't be surprised if we saw Sigurdsson or Morales or something like that. Because I hope Morales does start to come back into the team because I do like Morales. He's a part of the Belgian squad for a reason. He's played more minutes for Belgium in the last 2 months than what he has for Everton. So it's also pretty concerning because Belgium are one of the best teams, one of the best nations in the world when it comes to football, and Everton are sitting 17th on the Premier League table, and he can't crack into the Everton team. So it doesn't make too much sense to me. But yeah, we've just got to play with width. I think defensively, it's difficult to really think like this, but I think we're pretty good defensively. Once we knuckle down with the same back four for once, because I don't think we've played with the same back four 2 games in a row this season. Once we actually knuckle down with the same defence, then they'll get more confidence playing with each other and we'll get better and better. But we've got to go into it with an open mind, thinking that we can put 5 or 6 past them, even though we won't. Like I'm predicting us to win 2-1, but we've got to go into it thinking that we can honestly batter them.
Yeah, I think as much as Koeman loves playing possession, I think this is a game that Brighton's going to come out and really go for because they do know that we are lacking confidence, out of form, and we're probably going to play pretty conservatively. I think this is a game where we can probably surrender possession. I know we normally go to teams like this and just hold the ball and almost just play really negatively of not really doing anything or creating anything, and we often get caught on the counter. And I think that's our biggest downfall. I reckon if we just play defensively on the counter and just stick Vlasic, Lookman and Calvert-Lewin as our front three, and I reckon we can score 4 or 5 if we just leave those 3 and isolate their defenders against those 3 players, because they're all 3 quick players. They're all 19 years old pretty much. And they're all hungry and literally they're the 3 probably most confident players in our squad. So I think that's what we need to do. I'd like to see Tom Davies start.
Definitely.
I think
between him and Klassen, we have to play at least one centre mid. We can't afford to play defensively.
Davies is our barometer. I think when Davies plays, we go to another level. Not only is he a talented player, but he's also a leader. He's a passionate player. He loves the club. He loves playing for the club, and he wants to win. And right now, you can't say there's too many players out there apart from the likes of maybe Jagielka when he plays, and Calvert-Lewin and
Koeman.
Coleman, yeah. I mean, that go out there and put their heart on their sleeve and really try win and play for the club, play for the badge on the front as opposed to the name on the back.
Yeah, exactly.
So I think Davies, just give him the captain's armband, to be honest.
Sign him on a life contract.
Yeah, I don't think he'll ever leave, to be honest. I can't. I know.
I can't see.
I know Barkley was like the same. He come in, local lad, come through the academy, loves Everton and all that. I just can't see Davies ever leaving, to be honest.
But I can't either. But I said the same thing about Barkley.
Yeah, I mean things change in football very quickly. That's the beauty of it. Brighton Hove Albion, Jake, Matt Ryan. Obviously, we are aware is a talented keeper. Hasn't quite hit his straps in the Premier League yet. It would just be very him to come out and have a blind move against us, wouldn't it?
Well, he has the potential to. And we'll obviously both back each other up on saying this. He's a very talented keeper. There's a reason why he's been given the chance in the Premier League. There's a reason why he's won the Belgian keeper, the Belgian Pro League Keeper of the Year twice, I think.
Yep.
So yeah, very talented keeper, and on his day he can win his team 3 points, but on his day as well he can also cost his team 3 points, and I'm hoping today's one of those days. It's very, very frustrating because I want him to do well because I don't want him to be starting, but I don't want him to do well at the same time because then we might not get 3 points. So hopefully we can just win 2-0, but him make 14 saves or something like that.
Yeah, it wouldn't be a bad scenario. Ronald Koeman, Jake.
Shane Duffy as well.
Yeah, well, he's a talented player. I wouldn't have minded
Big
him
Duff
staying
man.
at Everton back then, but it is good in the air. Ronald Koeman, Jake. Just a little stat here, which doesn't really read too well for us. At Everton, in 22 away games for Everton as manager, he's won just 18.2% of those games. 4 wins, 7 draws, 11 losses, compared to 36.8% at Southampton, where we had 38 games, 14 wins, 8 draws, 16 losses. Pretty damning, the fact that Everton is having essentially a half. We're only winning half of our away games as opposed to what Southampton were doing when he was there. Southampton were always credited as being quite a good defensive team when he was manager. And we've been, probably one of the worst defensive teams in the league this season. We went on about it in the last podcast when we were talking about how if he should stay or go. We said, we mentioned he's a defensive manager who's very tactically good. But both of those things at Everton are not working at the moment. And that was part of our reasoning for him probably deserving the sack. If we lose this game, Jake, is that it? Because I think Mashiri's already explained the ones that we expect to win and expect to lose. Burnley, unexpected loss. Very, very down the last couple of weeks since then. Brighton and Hove Albion would have penciled in at the start of the season as a win. I'm personally say it's probably a draw at least, but probably a dominant draw where we do dominate the game, but they get one on the break and we draw whatever, but we still play well. If we lose this game and put in another similar performance to what we've been doing of late, I think that could well be it for Koeman.
Yeah, 100%. Like, we lose this and Leicester win on Tuesday morning, we're in the relegation zone. And obviously there's still another 30 games left after this game. But, like I've said plenty of times, you don't want to fall too far behind the pack. And this is a huge game because at the same time, just looking at the ladder now, we win this, we go 10th, and we go 3 points away from 5th. So it doesn't look that bad at the end of the day if we do get 3 points here. Because
we're
beaten
Burnley and won this one would have been 5th.
Exactly right. So it's frustrating looking at it that way. But then if you look at it the other way, we lose this and Leicester win, we're in relegation zone. And we're 4 points away from last place Palace, who have been absolutely horrendous apart from this morning. So it's a huge game, and it all falls down on Koeman. If Koeman gets it wrong, if Koeman gets the lineup wrong again, and then we come out and lose, then it could be curtains. But if Koeman gets the lineup right and we come out and lose, then you might be sitting there thinking, oh, we're just unlucky on the day. But it's so important that this time in 3-4 hours, we're looking at the team sheet and that we're happy, at least. If we go in with 2 defensive midfielders, or if we go in with Martina, or if Williams is starting, or if Sigurdsson is out on the left, then there's going to be question marks. But if he gets it right and there's some positive energy going into the game, then we'll be all right. I reckon we'll get 3 points. But if he just pisses everyone off again, if the thing is with the fans, if we go into the game expecting to lose because of the lineup, and then we go out and lose, it all falls down onto Koeman. So he has a chance to save his job, but if we lose this, I honestly cannot see any reason as to why we would keep him, because we've spent 140 mil, and 8 games in, we could be sitting in the relegation zone. So it all falls down to him, because we have a really tough run coming up as well. After this, we have Lyon, Arsenal, Chelsea, Leicester, Lyon. So we can't afford to be going into that run on the back of losses to Burnley and Brighton. So
I think you echo pretty much every Evertonian's thoughts at the moment, mine included. And it certainly has the
I hope he proves me
prospects
wrong. I really do. I hope he proves me wrong, but he's making his own bed at the moment.
It's definitely probably our most important game so far this season.
100%.
All will be revealed in about 7 hours from now, 6 hours, whatever. We'll find out if Koeman's in or Koeman's out.
Exactly right.
But I think we'll wrap it up there for the Brighton and Hove Albion preview. Follow us on Twitter, SOSEFC1878. Don't know if I got that right or wrong. I think that's right. SOS EFC, EFC SOS. Not sure. Something like that. The Blues. Also on Podbean, flicking the bean all season long. We'll be back after this game. This whatever, probably.
Yeah.
I think so.
Well, we could be back right after the game if we're both angry enough at the result. We might make a podcast straight away.
Who knows? Potential's there. Until then, though, Jack.
That's a fucking topic.